Happiness evades us because we pretend that we are atoms, lonely, alone, separate from the earth, separate from her trees, separate from her grasses, separate from the birds that speak around me. We are part of the earth. And this separation from the earth, which I have called ecological apartheid, the Afrikaans word for separation, applied to our relationship with nature, I think is the single biggest cause for both harm to the planet and human unhappiness. Because we cannot be happy when the rest of creation around us is unhappy. These beautiful trees, they are me. It's what the oxygen I receive from these leaves is what makes me alive. My breath is their breath. I cannot be separate from the trees. And that is why years ago, my ecological journey started with a beautiful movement, the Chipko movement, where women came out of the Himalayan villages to say, you cannot cut our forests. They're causing landslides, they're causing disasters. We're going to hug the trees. Chipko means to hug. And they embraced the trees with love. The highest intimacy, because they realized that their well-being, their happiness came from the forests. But all the well-being and happiness of all living beings comes from nature. And because we've become arrogant as human beings, we think nature depends on us. We think other human beings depend on us. And in the process, those in power, those in dominant position, are creating harm and misery through greed, through indifference, through wanting to own the whole planet and push species to extinction. Our happiness and the happiness of the earth is one happiness. Our health and the health of the planet is one health. Both health and happiness come from being whole, from integrity. But integrity in oneness, in interconnectedness. Not the integrity of mechanistic machines, but the integrity of life in interconnectedness. Our food comes from the soil. And when we take care of the soil, we aren't just living with gratitude to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is giving us more food. There is no unhappiness then in hunger. We can avoid hunger by growing food everywhere and ensuring that no human beings is deprived of food. We depend on water. We receive water from the same processes. The leaves become the humus. The humus holds the water. It releases water in the soil, in the streams. And when it's frozen, it becomes the glaciers. When we think we can get rid of life on Earth, we can get rid of photosynthesis, we can get rid of biodiversity, we are creating disasters like climate havoc and climate chaos. We are creating species extinction. We cannot be happy in the midst of extinction because other species shape our lives. We cannot drive 200 species a day to extinction and expect the human species to not go extinct. Happiness today is about ensuring that we stop the extinction problem. We stop the destabilization of the climate by learning, once again, to live happily with other beings who are our relatives. That is why I talk of us being part of one Earth family. That is why we in Navdanya talk about sowing the seeds of Earth democracy. That is true happiness. That is true well-being. That is true joy of living. That is true economy as the art of living. We need to rediscover our basic humanity once again. And through reclaiming our humanity as part of the earth, we will reclaim our share of happiness on this very beautiful planet of which we are a part.